What's up, Schmoedown fans? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Hey,
Oh,
man.
I thought you were just... I don't know why you hesitated like that. Evening, ma'am. Lady.
I don't know why I do that. I've never done that in my life. But for all the listeners, I was tipping the cap. But lost my train of thought.
You were just saying what your name is. That was it.
That was it. I was gonna say. Well, anyways, sorry for the delay on this episode. It's coming out a day late. Scheduling conflicts because getting the back to swing of things. Great for business, but bad for podcasting because just busy. It involved breaking down the setup and setting it back up, and it just
A 2-day shoot.
It was a 2-day shoot, and the day that we were supposed to record, it was on one of the days that we were shooting. So, sorry again for the lateness, but we have 4 matches.
Yeah.
No Throwdown this week, which means you only get 1 episode this week, and it's the delayed episode. But but we'll get into the next coming matches after this. So
there is a Throwdown coming up.
There is a Throwdown coming
this
up
week.
Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get straight into it because I don't think there's anything big to talk about that happened last week in the world of the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I didn't see any
within the confines of the Schmoedown.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
Is going bananas with shows, but yeah, within.
Oh yeah, that was the big announcements. I
Yeah.
think, that is actually something we should talk about because the co-host because John Roca is stepping down as co-host of Backstage, and his replacement, Rachel the Crusher Cushing, and I was like, oh okay, because I thought they were gonna bring Winston in or who else did they say? I thought they were gonna bring Frankie in. I was like, why isn't Frankie in there? He'd be great. But it's like I'm glad they brought somebody in that doesn't have a faction biased.
I mean, she does, but...
to a point, being that she's not an active competitor, she's not an active manager. I just like her coming in. It's great that we get to see Rachel again.
And also, even if she does have an affiliation with a certain faction, Rachel Cushing, I think she's very objective. So I'm not worried in the least.
And a much needed, not much needed, but a much loved personality in the Schmoedown. And anytime you bring Rachel back for anything Schmoedown related, it's fantastic. She is one of my favorite.
Can't have too much Rachel Cushing. No way.
No, that's great.
And she'll bring that nice female perspective to the show. Not that it matters, but I mean, it does.
I mean, sometimes
it does.
Sometimes it does.
It's not. I mean, it's not like it's a female against male type show, but sometimes it is good.
Yeah,
to have.
It's nice to have that female voice on the desk and the female voice in just an after show type of thing because it does feel sometimes that the Schmoedown is like a boys' club or like there's just a male dominated thing, and we always welcome the female voice in this space.
Yes,
so that's why you're on the show.
That's the only reason I'm on the show.
No, that is not the only reason you're on the show. People love seeing you. That's why you're on the show.
Okay.
Put it in the comments. Let her know how much you love having Nicki on the show.
That makes me uncomfortable. So let's get into the
people
first
like
match.
you more than me. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
Whatever. Let's make this weird. But actually, before we get into the first match, Rachel's the new co-host of Backstage. Dan Murrell's gonna have his own show where he goes through like his entire movie catalog, his own personal,
not only like
collection.
His personal collection of physical media. That's the whole draw of the show is physical media because I've stopped. Like the only time I actually get hard copies of things is either it's a Star Wars or it's a movie that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
And it's
at which point I say it's 2020. What are we doing?
Like,
buying
because
copies?
What happens if that digital service decides to delete that movie off of their service? Now I have the hard copy.
Word.
Boom. That's why you buy hard copies, people.
Yeah.
Support your favorite movies and
Also
your favorite
that.
franchises.
Also, that.
Anyways.
But there's a lot of stuff going on at SEN.
Yeah, Winston gets his own Inner Geekdom show,
Yeah,
which is exciting. And obviously the first guest they're going to have is Chandru, current IG champion.
Not surprising. Lots of stuff going on.
Lots of stuff.
Hot stuff going on. Keep up with it, baby boys and baby girls. So, first match we got.
Yes,
we got Lightning, Liz Shannon Miller versus Rachel, the Switchblade, Silvestrini. And Liz is representing Swag. Rachel is representing the Den.
A lot of eyes on this match for different reasons because we haven't seen Liz Shannon Miller.
It's been a while.
Since last season. This is her season 7 debut. Because last time we saw her was in the singles, like the tournament last year when she lost to, not the tournament, it was a number one contender match.
Oh.
Oh no, yeah, she did play teams. That's right. But the last time we saw her in singles was she lost to Oyama in a number 1 contender match, and then Oyama goes on to beat Merle.
Yeah.
So I was excited to see her, and also a lot of eyes are on Rachel because a lot of comments. Been made about how you should have could have put a Goddard in there. I don't know why I just said that. Just a lot of question marks, like why put her in over certain people, blah 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 blah. And I was wanting to say, like, Rachel is sneaky good.
Yeah,
she does have a couple of blind spots here and there. But as we get into this match, I'll be like, yeah, this is exactly why you put Rachel in there, because she did well.
Yeah.
So,
and because don't worry about what the manager does.
Yeah.
Because that's who they picked. That's why she's in there. So, round 1. Rachel missed a question about The Last Samurai. They both missed a question about Coming to America, which surprised me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was like the Eddie Murphy plays
the old Jewish man.
And this other character in what, like, comedies.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's Coming to America.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember, yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoyed that movie.
That movie. It's a classic.
It is.
If he wants to be called Muhammad Ali, I'll call him Muhammad Ali. That's a horrible. I'm like, no, I'm gonna leave it in. I got a couple of impersonations in my bag, and that's not one of them.
I mean, we tried.
I tried. I gave it an old college try.
I respect that.
Yeah.
So 6 to 7 at the
Probably
end of round
do it
1
later, but I'm not gonna.
The same impersonation.
Another impersonation. I don't know.
I say go for it, baby.
Go for it. Just go for it.
Go for it.
Okay.
That's the power of editing.
Oh.
Shut up, stupid.
Thank you, Christian.
Oh, thank you. So 6 to 7 in favor of Liz at the end of round 1. Round 2, Rachel goes. She goes first. She spins away from Nora Ephron and gets 2010s. She has a 2-point miss, and it did get stolen. Then she went to multiple choice once, missed it. That got stolen too.
Yeah.
Multiple choice again, but got that one. Goes to Liz, and she gets spinner's choice.
Ooh.
Picks SNL. Very niche category.
Very niche category, but she's strong in this category, apparently.
Very much, because she only went to multiple choice one time, got it right. So, gap widens. By the end of round 2, it's 9 to 17.
Tough second round.
In favor of Liz. Round 3, of course, Rachel goes first for 2-pointers. Sports. Mark Wahlberg's character plays what sport in Invincible? She gets it.
Football.
Was it?
Yeah, I didn't see the movie, but you see the trailer, you know what it is, because he's like
it's either football or baseball.
Now he tries out for the Eagles, and he gets on the team, and I think he's a wide receiver, because it's based off.
Never seen the movie. You know what position he plays?
Well, it's based off a true story.
Oh,
so
cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing the trailers for him. Like, oh, that's interesting.
3-point for Rachel. New releases. Name both leads of the film. The rhythm section.
Yeah,
she missed it. So she says Blake Lively and Sterling K. Brown, and they said, I think that they said it was Blake Lively and Jude Law.
Jude Law, yeah.
So she challenged it, and honestly, it's been a couple days since we've watched this match, but they were kind of saying, I feel. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like one of their things was kind of like, well, how do you define the lead? Is it kind billing? Of subjective? Is it who's on the poster? Yeah, who's top billed?
Who's top billed? Who has more screen time and that nature? Who has more impact on the narrative?
Yeah,
and it's like, this is a very good challenge. Yeah. This is a very good challenge, because this is one of the cases where the writers see things one way and the competitors see in another way.
Yeah,
and it's a fair argument, and I think the way they handled this ruling was kind of the best way. It's like, all right, we'll throw the question out.
Yeah.
And we'll give you a new question.
Challenge upheld. And so they did. They threw it out. They gave her a new question. New 3-pointer for Rachel. Same category, new releases. Who plays Bernie Taupin? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Taupin or Taupin. The best friend to Elton John in Rocket Man. Oh. She did, however, miss that one.
Yeah.
So 11 to 17, Liz with the TKO.
And this was just a combination of like everything going wrong for Rachel.
Yeah.
She had a strong first round. She missed 2 questions?
Yeah.
And that's a great showing. And I think it was who said this. I think Clark Wolf said this, like your first round, especially in singles, your first round can determine how the rest of the match goes. If you don't have a strong first round, it can easily snowball into everything just going wrong for you. She had a very good first round, and she kept up with Liz. It's just that second round was like a perfect storm of not the best category for her, the best category for Liz,
Yes.
and it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah.
But that challenge was like, oh, this could really swing in her favor, and like it sort of got momentum on her side. But then it's just she got hit with another question. It's like, oh no, I don't know it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, of course, great.
Yeah, so
not that it was another blind spot, but a blind spot apparently, or just I don't know if she didn't know it, if she flat out didn't know it, or if she just blanked. I don't quite remember.
It's a recent film, and I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of people being crazy about this movie. So that has a lot to do with sometimes where it's a very, very popular movie, then like it sticks in your head easier or whatever. But as for like that challenge, when it came back, I was like, oh, if they give her the points, this is big. But it's like,
they just
threw it away. I'm like, I don't blame him for that. But like, it's like, God, wish they would just give her the points, because it's like she has a fair argument. Like, this is why I think he's the lead.
Yeah.
And it's not like,
maybe that's why they threw it away, because it's like, oh, you can't really, if your argument is that it's subjective, then what makes you right and I'm not?
Yeah.
So maybe it was just kind of like, it's just easier to throw it away.
I think, had she argued it differently, do you think they would get the points? If she wouldn't have had the word subjective in there, it's like, no, he's not the lead. It's this lead because of this, this, and this.
Well, I mean, I don't if I'm taking what you said very literally, I don't know if she used the word subjective. I don't remember if she did. I think it was just kind of implied that was kind of the reasoning behind the challenge.
Yeah.
If she had presented it a different way, no, I feel like the you know, the meat and potatoes of what she was challenging, I feel like regardless of how she presented it, I think it would have ended up the same way.
The only reason I bring that up is because we've seen players sway the judges into giving them their favorable call. Chandru's comes up, Bateman comes up with the whole sports agent talent thing, whatever. Yeah. He's admitted this as much as like, I was just throwing whatever and hoping it would stick, and it actually went in his favor, and he swayed the judges to giving him the points. I'm wondering if this kind of type of situation where if Rachel fought a bit more, it's like, all right, so we'll just give you the points because your argument is very valid. Yeah. So I'm wondering if had she just like presented her challenge a bit, like structured a bit different and just fought for it more, had they would just given her the points and then she goes for a 5-pointer.
Possibly. So I mean, anything's possible, as we've definitely seen this season.
I mean, we've seen crazy challenges. This year shouldn't be the new era; it should be called the era of digital challenges. This is what this season has boiled down to. Yeah. And it's just like, God, there seems to be a challenge every single match, and the challenges are so like there are some where it's like, yeah, that's a fair one. Like this one was a fair challenge. Where like
I believe so.
But then there are other ones just like, come on, dude, you seriously challenging
you're being a little petty here.
Yeah, you're being a little petty. You're being ticky tack. I know you don't like that.
I thought we could get through a podcast without him saying that. In my head, I'm like, don't say it. Don't say that again.
Okay, I'll make an effort not to say that from now on. I'll give you. I'll try not to say that. I
don't believe it. I don't for 1 second believe it.
I'll try not to say it, but it's like just little petty challenges. Yeah, I've said it before that I'm getting this off. So this was an actual valid challenge to where it's like she had a complete argument and she had a way to defend her argument. Yeah, I just think she should have pushed harder just to get those points. Yeah. So, but Liz looks like she hasn't missed a step. And again, she got a category that she was very strong in. So you have to keep that in mind. Mm-hmm. But she looked really good. She only missed one question in the first. Spun a category she was really strong in, and just like ran away with it. Yeah. And just didn't look back. So she moves on into what is this, the second round now? We're through the first round matches.
I think there's still a couple more. But we still got Marisol and Paul and stuff like that.
But she moves on
Well, we can get into that later. I don't remember off the top of my brain who she goes against. Mm-hmm. I can like see it like fuzzy in my brain, that side of the bracket, but I had to look at it. Yeah. But yeah, so
the later rounds will be easier. You're like, yep, they go on that because it's like whittling the competitors down.
Exactly. But yeah, it was a great showing by both ladies. It didn't swing Rachel's way, and that happens.
Yeah, and I don't go into the Facebook group because I'm just tired of fans being toxic for just to rattle.
Not everybody,
but I'm tired of those fans that are just saying things just to rattle people's feathers.
Yeah, those people can,
go shave your head and go to sleep.
Shave your head and go to sleep.
Bring it. You ever heard that one?
No, I have. Absolutely.
I'm bringing it back. Shave your head and go to sleep.
Yeah.
You have nothing better to do during these days of Corona.
There's no need to personally attack or just attack anybody for I don't know. It's just silly.
And
like,
who would have known? Like people are saying like, why put Rachel in? Blah 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 blah. It's like, can you imagine had she pulled off the win here, and then it's like, oh yeah, that's why she's in here, and then you're gonna be eating crow. It's like, oh well, I guess we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, and
you gamble sometimes. Sometimes that gamble doesn't pay off for you.
Had you put in Ben Goddard, maybe he would have gotten something that was in his blind spot that day. And then what would happen if he would have lost? Then it would be like, oh well, maybe we should have put Rachel. It's you never know.
You never know.
Anything can happen. No one's guaranteed to win, no matter who you are. So, you know, it's just
it just happens sometimes.
If you don't like who is put in the tournament, you're not gonna get the manager to fix it for you.
No.
So just kind of gotta let it happen.
And these were two teams that Liz is on Swag.
Yeah.
Yep. So so Swag obviously is padding their standings, but like the Den needs any points they can get, and they're not looking great right now.
Yeah. It definitely would have helped. Obviously,
it would have helped to get this win, but it's just we're getting to the point in the tournament where, if you don't get past these rounds, it's gonna be harder to catch up. I know we have the teams tournament and a couple other matches here and there, but
singles is big because there was how many competitors? There was so many competitors.
It's like 38 competitors.
Something crazy
with
like
the plans.
that. And then when you go to the teams tournament,
it's only 8 teams.
Only 8 teams.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more opportunities for points in the singles tournament. So it is big.
So
if you can stay in it as long as you can.
Yeah, the later we get into these tournaments, the less opportunities for points, less opportunities because the real big draw for obviously is points, but also obviously the winners of these tournaments go to Spectacular, and that's more opportunities for even more points.
Exactly.
So if you don't get past these first rounds, if you don't go far enough into this tournament, especially if you're like the Den, the Dungeon, the Suspects, if your teams like that, they're just trying to grab whatever you can get. It hurts so much more when you get booted in the first round. So yeah, it's just unfortunate for the Den. We'll see what else they bring with these next couple of matches.
Yeah.
So
the next match. Let's see what we got. Oh, we have Jeff the Snyder.
Ooh.
That's his name, right?
The Snyder.
The Snyder.
Never got that nickname. It's a
because isn't it because he's like breaking movie news like he's on the inside. He's an insider. Insider.
Whatever.
I know it's not very. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah.
Jeff the Snyder doesn't really,
I can't
flow.
Complain. My nickname doesn't have any alliterations with my name at all.
Yeah.
The Hunter. I've come to love my nickname, but
and I think it's fun too because I just learned that the Hunter is
that's
the
right,
leader of the Bad Batch. So that's fun. So I think that's cool.
That's cool.
So good job on that one. So Jeff the Snyder.
I came first though.
What?
I came first before the Bad Batch was ever released to the world.
So basically, you're saying Dave Filoni stole it from you.
Obviously not, but I came first.
Obviously, that's what I heard. So Jeff the Snyder versus Robert the Party Crasher Montano. I'm assuming it's Montano, not Montano, but I don't see the little over the end, so I'm gonna assume
the little wave, whatever the
Enye.
Yeah.
So that is Jeff of the Rockstars versus Robert of the Usual Suspects.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to this to see Robert compete because we went back and watched a match against Team Action.
Late to the Party versus Team Action.
I'm like, wow, I forgot how well he did in this match.
They both did great.
So I was like, wow.
They took Team Action to the limit.
Yeah.
Take it to the limit.
Yeah, and granted, this is season 3 era, but still, it's like, wow, he knows a lot of stuff, and he's obviously been preparing for this match. And it sucks that you have to go up against somebody like Jeff Snyder in your first singles debut because he's competed in teams. Obviously,
a veteran of the game,
and he's upset. I forgot that Late to the Party upset Critically Acclaimed in a tournament one year. And I was like, whoa,
yeah.
So
not to be underestimated.
But and then Jeff Snyder is coming back from his first loss against Irwin earlier in the season. That upsetting loss when he was just on fire.
Yeah, Jeff was doing really well.
He was doing really
somehow
well and just missed his 5, and it ended up costing him the match.
Yeah, that was hard to watch, for Jeff. But yeah. So round 1, Robert missed a question about Kate and Leopold. I was taking very detailed notes because I said Kate and Leopold, something else, Suspiria, and they both missed a Road to El Dorado question. So by the end of round 1, no perfect rounds, 4-7 in favor of Jeff.
How many did Jeff miss? Like
Jeff missed 1.
Just 1? Okay,
just
so
Road to El Dorado.
So a decent first round.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very, very good first round.
Yeah. Round 2, Robert goes first. He spins away from Thriller and he gets opponent's choice and he gets stuck with Thriller.
And he wanted to spin away from that because it's a strength of Jeff Snyder. So he just didn't want opportunities for steals. And this just...
Yeah. So he goes to multiple choice twice, misses 1. It does get stolen. Goes to multiple choice again, gets it right. Then... Jeff goes and he spins Eddie Murphy, decides to stay with it. You know, I know he and Roxy kind of went back and forth and it was kind of like, I feel like they were both kind of saying, oh, well, you know, you're already in the lead. You've already got a pretty substantial lead. Even if you go to multiple choice, you're still going to be in the lead. I mean, yes, true. But maybe it was also kind of like needling Robert, like, oh, look,
playing mind games.
We can not even do that well and still beat you. Like, I wonder how much of that was them trying to get it into his head. So he gets Eddie Murphy, sticks with it. Multiple choice twice, got 1, missed 1, but it wasn't stolen. 9-13 in favor of Jeff. It begs the question for me, out of curiosity, if I were a Schmoedown competitor or a manager, what do you think of the strategy of, and this is a very specific situation that I'm talking about right now. It's, you know, a lot of conditions to be met. But in this exactly, you know, in this example right here, Jeff decides he's in the lead, so he gets to decide who goes first. He says, I want Robert to go first.
Oh, he chooses, let's choose his numbers first.
No.
Oh, no,
I'm jumping ahead. So round 2, he says, Robert, spin first because I'm in the lead. I want him to go first. I want to go second. Robert gets opponent's choice. Jeff, knowing that he's going second, what do you think of giving somebody one of your slices? Because, I mean, granted, I don't know if in singles and teams, if you get to know what I put on the wheel and if I get to know what you put on the wheel. I assume not. I assume it's mostly left up to your knowledge of what somebody's strong in.
I think you do get to know who puts what.
Like if you put Festival Dogs on the wheel, I get to know that was you.
I'm pretty sure because in the beginning of the season, that whole like contention with Brendan Meyer and Dan Murrell. Dan Murrell put an Intergeekdom slice on, and they had and Brendan had a huge problem with that.
Maybe.
So he knew that he put it on there. So I'd imagine, because again, Star Wars and Intergeekdom competitors don't get to choose what goes on the wheel. It's just I guess that's
Star Wars.
Yeah, I guess that's one on the wheel.
Yeah.
With singles and teams, they actually get to choose. So I imagine you get to know what your opponent's putting on, so you can like, all right, so if they're putting that on, it's a lot like how we used to be in Counter-Strike, the vetoes and picking maps. You get to know what your opponent's doing, so it's a whole nother level of strategy, I guess.
Yeah.
So
my question is, if you know that you're going second and your opponent, you get lucky enough that your opponent gets opponent's choice, do you want to give them one of your strengths because you want to be able to take their steals? Because that sounds great and all. Wow, if they miss it, then I get to pick those pieces up. But now you're just taking one of your own slices off for your round.
That's a great point.
And what happens if you give somebody your slice and they crush it and you don't get any steals, and now you're one slice down on the wheel from one of the things you want to get?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think just looking at it that way, it could have backfired. And Robert went to multiple choice twice and only got one stolen, so he navigated that pretty well. Pretty well. And Jeff got one steal from it.
Yeah,
but that actually it did almost backfire on him. So what happens if he gets the bonus choice and he doesn't do well in his? So it's like, well, oops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a great point to like.
Yeah, I wonder, do you really want to? I feel like I'd rather give them some odd, especially if I know what they put on the wheel.
Yeah.
If I know what I put on and I know what you put on, I'd almost rather give you one of those random other, like maybe actor-specific categories or director-specific categories or whatever based on my knowledge of your gameplay.
Yeah, or like movie release dates or something.
Yeah, rather than giving you one of mine and taking off the wheel for myself.
Yeah.
So, because nothing's guaranteed you're going to lose a bunch and I get to steal them, you might get them all right.
And that's a great point. It's like, is Roxy and Snyder thinking that far ahead? Or they're just like, oh, we want steals, give him...
Yeah.
Give him Thriller.
Oh, he's not going to do well in this.
Yeah.
But you never know. Things backfire sometimes.
And who's to know he might have brushed up on a couple of things, because again, he navigated this category well enough to where he didn't give away much.
It's like when Rockstars gave Chris Jericho Kevin Smith, and he crushed it.
Yeah.
And he didn't miss a single one. What a backfire. Kevin Smith still won. But not that it backfired. Yeah. But in the moment, you're like, oh, no.
Oh, no.
That didn't really work out the way I anticipated it.
Yeah.
Grant, I think, I don't remember who went first, Chris or Kevin.
Kevin went first.
So, and it's a different situation. Yeah. That's a totally different situation. Yeah. In my question, you'd have to be the one going second.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I mean, it's a very specific situation. A couple conditions have to be met in order to even worry about this. But I was just, it just made me wonder.
It's a fair point. I mean, that's just another level that competitors have to be aware of like, what do I give them? Do I give them something that I know that I'm good at and take it off the wheel so I can't spin it, or do I give something else?
If you went first, go, knock yourself out. Give them whatever slice you want to give them. But if you're going second, you might want to leave those for yourself and give yourself a greater chance of getting points. One of your things.
Yeah, because it almost cost him, because Eddie Murphy, I believe he said he wasn't great at, and he went multiple choice once.
He went to multiple choice twice and missed one and got one.
See, and there you go. It almost backfired on him because he got a category not the best at.
They performed the same, evenly. except that one got a multiple choice stolen and the other one didn't.
Yeah.
But they both went to multiple choice twice. They both missed one. They both got one. So, ignoring the steals, they both performed the same in round 2.
Yeah.
But
it's a fair point. I think maybe
something
should be,
that popped up in my brain.
It's crazy that you should be managing somebody.
Round 3. Oh no! Well, at the end of round 2, it was 9-13 in favor of Jeff.
Yes.
Round 3. An interesting turn of events that I don't think has ever happened before.
Yeah.
Jeff decides to let Robert pick his numbers first, which led to a moment that I thought was funny. That
the whole sexy numbers bit.
Yeah, because Robert picks first and he picks his numbers, and Rox is like, "Oh, trash numbers," her usual shtick.
Yeah.
And Jeff was like, "Oh, actually, those were my numbers."
It's like, oh well.
And then Jeff picks his numbers. He's like, "Wow, it's hot, sexy numbers."
Yeah, and this is why I'm like, I know Roxy's got more in her toolbox.
I think she's doing it because she knows people don't like it, and I think she's doing it to stick it to people who don't like it at this point.
Yeah, at this point,
if you're beating a dead horse this much, I can only imagine you're doing it for a reason.
Yeah,
because otherwise, it's like
I'm just tired of it, me personally. But and also half of me is just I want to see her do something different because I know she can do better. And the other half of me is like, Jesus, this is getting exhausting. Just move on.
I just feel like that's why she might be doing it. But who knows?
Yeah.
So, Robert, 2-pointer, comic book movies. In Venom, who has a cameo as Cletus Cassidy. And it was Woody Harrelson. He could not. Oh, yeah, that's right. That name.
Yeah, he said he was thinking Willie.
Something like that. And I think he actually burned 2 of his JTEs on that one question because it was just right there on the tip of his brain. Yeah. And he just couldn't grab it.
I'm always on the thing, like, if it's like not a 5-pointer, don't waste more than 1.
Yeah. But if you're that close and you're like, I know
that's true too.
I just 15 more seconds and maybe it'll appear in my brain. But
he took 30 seconds to get a question.
Yeah, it's kind of sucks.
It sucks.
But I feel like if you feel like you're that close and you're like, I know this, why am I not?
Yeah,
I can't really fault him because you want to get all the points you can get, especially if you're down 9-13.
And I've been there. I was just like, oh, I know I should know this. But I was like, I don't want to waste any repeats on this because it's just not worth it at this point.
Yeah, so, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it.
3-pointer for Robert. He gets horror. Who directed the 1997 sci-fi horror film Mimic?
It was Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Ha!
And he missed it.
I'm not jumping a single stone.
So 5-pointer for Robert. Remakes and reboots.
Oh yeah.
Who plays Chief Inspector Dreyfus in 2006's Pink Panther? He got it right like
really quick. Yeah.
So, and funny enough, right after he misses 3-pointer, you see Jeff like scribbling something on his board or in his paper, and come to find out that later he was just getting real cocky and had written TKO because he thought he was going to do it. Yeah. But Pink Panther put the kibosh on that. Yeah. So Jeff's 2-pointer, 2000s. Catherine Bigelow directed Jeremy Renner and Anthony Mackie in what 2007?
The Hurt Locker.
2009 war film, The Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
So 13-14 in favor of Jeff and the Rockstars. So that was that.
Oh, and there's also that one thing that he did in the post match.
Where are you going with that?
The thing that Jeff did.
Yeah, what thing that Jeff did? Jeff does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he said Vanessa, call me or something like that.
Oh yeah, I thought that was kind of.
And
I thought that was
I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know what any what the fans are saying about this because I don't go to the Facebook group enough and at all anymore.
I haven't this past week.
Yeah, and I just wasn't. I didn't have my ear to ground on this one, but like I want to know what you think about this because there's certain points of where I feel that there are certain lines heels because he's a heel character and he does it well.
He does it very well.
He's a very convincing heel, and like you love to hate him. He's part of that Patriots run, and like there's a point where I was like, God, Jeff Snyder. But like now that we know the inside out of the Schmoedown, it's like he's playing a character, obviously. But there's with Jeff, it's kind of like the lines are blurry.
He's towing the line.
He's towing the line, but like there's always a point where I always feel like there's a point where even though you're playing a heel, you don't cross that line. I think he was sort of poking that line a bit with bringing personal things into your character. And I had this conversation with somebody, I can't remember, and when they were competing against the heel, they actually would talk to them and like, hey, is this cool to go? How far can I go?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you don't want me to do? Just, because we're all, friendly with each other.
Yeah.
We're all like, we want to be respectful of each other's personal lives and don't want to cross that line and just have you hate me because I thought I was supposed
to touch a nerve or
because I touched a nerve. So it's but I feel like this one is just like
for me it depends.
Yeah,
it depends. I don't know how close Robert and Jeff are. Maybe they're buddies. Maybe. And I don't know it. If they're buddies, then that's one thing because there's a lot of like with our friends, there's a lot of jokes, a lot of stupid things that our friends could say to me, and I'd be like, oh, you. Yeah. And if anybody else said it, I'd be like, wow, F you. Yeah. So it all depends on who the person is, what your relationship is with them, and what your comfort level is with them. If Jeff and Robert aren't friends, and the only interaction they've had really was this match. Then it's kind of weird and kind of tacky. Yeah. Kind of tasteless. Yeah. And I don't want to read too far into it because he didn't really say anything like super inappropriate. I mean, if he would have, there's a lot of things he could have said. Yeah. It was just kind of a moment of like, ugh.
Yeah. And I think Mark Ellis actually reacted. He was like,
yeah.
No.
It was just kind of yucky.
Yeah.
He could have said a lot worse, but
for me, that moment was just like, really, did you have to do that?
Yeah. It was just kind of yucky.
You just won the match. I know you want to like. You don't. There's no getting into the competitor's head anymore. The match is over.
Yeah, you just rubbing salt in the wound.
Yeah, why do that?
Which people do.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I'm always in the one. If you're gonna trash talk and you're gonna do all that stuff, and you're gonna play this character up, keep it in the confines of the game.
Yeah.
Trash talk his trivia knowledge or his gameplay. Yeah. Don't bring his significant other into the conversation. There's no need for that. So.
Unless you know each other.
Yeah, unless you know each other. Again, I have not gone anywhere near the Facebook group or see anybody else's opinion on this.
Yeah. So, or if anybody even cared.
This is just me reacting like, oh, I really could have done without that.
Yeah.
That's just my
a big deal at all.
It's not a big.
It was just kind of yucky.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's just Jeff, right?
Yeah.
So next match, Barbarian versus Whitney, the beauty SIBOLD. Barbarian is, of course, the Finstock Exchange, and Whitney is, of course, the Droogs. Round one. This is a great match.
Great match. This is even leading into this match, it's like shades of my match with Scrimshaw. It's like just like how knowledgeable both these guys are, and this feels like a second, maybe third round. Matchup, but it's in the first round, so it's like, ooh, somebody's big hitters going.
Whitney's a heavy hitter, Barbarian rookie season, but
we know
that they're both not to be underestimated. So, round one, they both missed one question, the same question about Copland. So at the end of round one, 7-7, because they both only missed one.
Yeah.
Round two, Barbarian decides to go first. He spins away from Scorsese, gets Oscars. Only goes to multiple choice one time, gets it right.
Nice.
Whitney goes. He spins away from Leonardo DiCaprio, gets spy films. Multiple choice once, missed it, and I do believe it was stolen.
Was it?
I think. I usually write stolen, but for some reason I wrote got it. I'm sure I could do math. Did he get it? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I usually write stolen, but I didn't this time.
I think he missed it.
Did Craig miss the steal?
I think Craig missed the steal.
Maybe he did.
It's been a while. Again,
it's been a while.
It's been a while since we watched this match because this episode's going up late.
Usually I type stolen, but I typed got it this time, so who knows what I was doing. In any case, Whitney went to multiple choice one time, and we'll reconcile with the score later. And then he had a 2-point miss. That one was not stolen.
I think maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So by the end of round 2, 11-15 in favor of the Barbarian.
Yeah, so I think there was an opportunity for one steal, but the Barbarian missed that 2-point steal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So round 3, 2-pointer for Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's not Whitney because there's no H. Whitney. New releases. What 2019 horror film stars James McAvoy, Jessica Chastain, and some other people? Got it right. It Chapter 2.
Oof. I still haven't seen it.
What? I thought you saw the first one.
I saw the first one. I didn't see the second one. Liked the first one, even though I'm not a horror person, but I did enjoy the first one. And I heard some not so great things about the second, and I was just like, and I was at this point, I was just not watching movies anymore because of parent life.
Yeah, and also it's too spoopy.
Yeah, too spoopy.
But
I did want to see this one though.
Spooky season is coming up quickly, so who knows? 3-pointer for Whitney. Action adventure. Which actor plays Murdoch in 2010's The A-Team? Missed it.
Who was it? It was Liam. It wasn't Liam Neeson. It was.
He said Liam Neeson, but I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. It was
Not
Bradley
Liam
Cooper.
Neeson. Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was Bradley. Was it Bradley Cooper? It's too much dead air. Let's keep talking.
no idea.
No
it's
idea.
not going to come to me either. 5-pointer for Whitney. Rom-coms. In what 60s film will you find Shirley MacLaine's character Fran as an elevator operator in an office building? He did get that one right.
Nice.
2-pointer for Barbarian. Scorsese, the one that he spun away from. Who got a Best Supporting Actor nom for their role in The Departed? Got it.
Wasn't there a lot of questions like this? Am I thinking of the right match where it's like the question starts off one way and then it takes a left turn? It's like, oh, was that this match or was that another one?
That's a good question because that was happening and I don't remember.
I don't think it was this match. So there was a match last week where it was like, oh,
the question goes this way.
It was Rachel's match. It was Rachel's match with Liz Sharon. It was like, oh,
this person did this. Who else did that?
Yeah, it was like, what are we doing? Are we getting bored?
The question just goes beep boop boop and then makes a sharp left turn.
Like, okay, so they're asking about Harrison Ford. What?
Yeah. This person got like Best Actor nominations this year for this movie, and that movie. What other person got 3 nominations in this year?
It was like something like this person got nominated for a Best Leading Actor and a Supporting Actor role in the same year. Who was it was Scarlett Johansson.
Somebody else who did the same thing.
Yes, who did the exact same thing in the previous year.
It's like such mental gymnastics. It's crazy.
It's like, just give me a question. Like, who got nominated for these 2 actors in this year? It's like, just give me that question.
Ask me a Best Director or something. Jeez.
Yeah, we're not trying to trick the competitors. Okay.
3-point to the Barbarian.
Sorry. We just take a left turn.
We just did that. 3-point to the Barbarian. Tarantino. Name 2 Tarantino films where Tim Roth has appeared. And he got it. And there were people complaining that it was too easy and whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's all very subjective, whatever.
Difficulty of questions.
So, that's that. 18-20. In favor of the Barbarian. So brings home a couple points to the Finstock Exchange. That's cool.
3 points that we needed because at the top of the board, it's like, oof, it's so tight.
Yeah.
Like obviously the people at the near the bottom half of the leaderboard, like the usual suspects in them, are just whatever they can get. We're the same way. It's just we want to grab what we can get just to stay up.
Yeah.
So much needed 3 points, and God, Barbarian Craig is just on fire this season.
He's a beast.
He's gotten so many points. I think he got 10. Well, how many has he gotten? I think he's around like 13, 14 points, right? Something like that. He's gotten more points than usual suspects.
Yeah,
combined.
I think that I think is true.
That's insane.
In the whole faction.
Yeah, so like he has a big test coming up in the next couple weeks. I'm not gonna spoil who does what, but whoever he goes up against next, it's gonna be a real challenge.
Yeah.
But he did really good, and for some reason, like Dagnino was like, he know that he didn't perform the way he wanted to.
Yeah, he needs to step up or whatever,
like,
tighten it up. I forget what he said.
Really, he did really well.
But you know them, especially Craig.
Especially Craig. Yeah.
Craig is going to be a perfectionist about it, and he himself would probably say, "Yeah, no, I can't do that if I'm going to keep going."
I think he's focused on missing that steal, missed one in the first, and went to multiple choice in the second. It's like, in any other day, it's like, wow, you did really well. You doing, but by his standards, we've talked about this before. How like he can miss one question, and be like, nope, didn't do perfect, didn't do well. It's like, dude, you won the match.
Yeah, I missed one.
Yeah, I missed one.
Like, I missed one. Like, that's not good.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. But just the amount of work that he's put in, I understand that missing one question to him is just like basically like losing the match.
Yeah.
So good for him to get those points that we needed. And as far as SIBOLD goes, like he did well. He did pretty well.
He's a really good competitor. He's one of those people that his record does not reflect
absolutely
how good of a player he is. I think he's 0-3 now in singles.
Yeah, that's right. He has no wins in singles, but he has a better teams record. I don't know what it is. It's at the off the top of my head, but like he's just one of those competitors. He's a lot like Scrimshaw, to where like he's just getting bad spins, or he's getting bad luck here and there, and like
he just goes up against somebody who's a juggernaut.
Yeah, exactly. It's like at this point, it's like he just needs, like, I hate to call them gimme matches.
Yeah,
just like he needs to have a gimme match, to where like you go up against another person,
kind of get your head above water and be like, get my stable footing.
Every competitor needs that sometimes. When you just go on a losing streak, you haven't won one in a while, or you haven't won one period, and you just need that one win will just skyrocket you up. And it's for him, it's just like, his losses were to the Barbarian. I can't think of who else he lost to, but yeah, like there's that one question on Twitter before. It was like, whose record doesn't represent their knowledge, or like who's way better than their record. SIBOLD is definitely on that list. He in my mind, he should be like a 4-2 player, or somewhere in that realm. I would put him in that bracket. It's just he just hasn't gotten that first one in singles. So
he's it's probably not correct to call somebody with a record of 0-3 underrated.
Yeah.
Maybe. Although I do think he is, because he is really strong. It's just that his record doesn't reflect that.
Yeah, maybe he just needs that different strategy, because he's one of those where it's almost raw knowledge for him. Yeah. Maybe just change up his strategy a little bit. Look at movies differently, because we've said this before. Watching movies after being fans of the Schmoedown changes the way you look at movies. It's like, oh man, that'd be a great 5-pointer.
We watch like TV shows, and it's like, we watch Puppy Dog Pals. I'm like, ooh, yeah. That'd be a good question.
What's the name of Cupcake's
sidekick?
Sidekick. Do you know it?
Now that you're asking me, I can't think of it.
Rufus.
Duh. God, I'm such an idiot. My God. And Doc McStuffins. What's the name? It absolutely transforms the way that we've watched. So maybe we watch anything now.
Yeah, maybe Sabo is still looking at movies in a critical way,
or he's just watching them for pleasure. Yeah, and he just absorbs stuff, because that's just the way his mind works. And maybe he's not watching it to study; he's just watching it for fun.
Yeah, maybe he just needs that small little tweak, and then I'll push him over the edge to that first win. And I think the next time we see him in singles, it'll probably be a gimme match. I hate to use that word, but it's probably be a gimme match for him, just to get him one win. Yeah, and to get him into that column and get him rolling. So yeah, next match, please.
Yes, next match. We have Video
singles. It'll probably be a gimme match
versus Mark Yodi Riley. VIDEODREW represents the Dungeon. Mark Riley represents the Finstock Exchange.
And Riley coming off of that loss against Shazam.
Oh, the Who's the Boss?
Yeah, the knockout loss.
Yeah, that was
so
tough.
It's like this is one, as far as release order of these matches, because you know how scheduling and recording and airing works. But as far as the narrative goes, Riley's coming off of this I'll say it, embarrassing loss to Shazam, wants to get that stink off of him and get back into the winning circle. Yeah. So this is a big match for Riley, and of course everybody's like, "Oh, Riley's washed up. He's past his prime." Blah blah blah. I will admit that Riley is a little hot and cold sometimes. He's a little inconsistent with his singles play. His singles play is a little hot and cold sometimes, but come on, respect the first champion of the Schmoedown. Respect a 2-time champion. He's won in both. He's won in the beginning era. He's won in the newer-ish era in season 3. Now he's continuing to win and perform in the new era, in the digital era. So
have some respect.
Jesus. And he had a singles loss against win against Janine earlier on in the season. So yeah. He's competed in the digital. He just hasn't competed in the digital as far as singles go.
Yeah.
And and VideoDrew, I think her last time we saw her was the team loss with New Tom. I believe so.
And that was in the studio.
So both of these competitors coming into the digital format. Seeing how they do.
So round one. Drew missed the first question. It was a lethal weapon question. They both missed the question about the 6th day, which sucks because I think Mark wrote like the 9th hour or something like that. He was like on the track.
He's on the right track.
But yeah,
different time unit.
The 6th day, they missed the question about Paranorman, and then Mark missed the question about Get Out. So by the end of round 1, it was a 5-5 tie.
Yeah, not the best first round for either of them.
But at least it's neck and neck.
Yeah, but at least it's neck and neck. Very even play right now. But as far as Mark goes, he's like he came out of that like
nope. Round 2. Riley decides to go first. He spins away from SNL, gets Denzel Washington. Multiple choice twice. Missed one, did get stolen. Got the other one. Drew goes. She spins Mel Brooks and decides to stay with it. Multiple choice twice. Missed one, not stolen.
Oof. Yeah.
Got the other one. So by the end of round 2, it was 10-11 in favor of VideoDrew. Round 3. 2-pointer for Mark. Animated. Puss in Boots is first introduced in what Shrek film?
Shrek 2.
He got it right.
Yeah, and 2-pointer. Come on, man.
Goes back to VideoDrew for her 2-pointer. Angelina Jolie. Which James Bond actor stars with her in Tomb Raider? She missed it.
Oh, and it was Daniel Craig, right?
That would be my guess because he's the only person I could think of.
Yeah, that's right. Because Mark Ellis remarked that it was the most current James Bond, Daniel Craig.
Yeah. 3-pointer for Drew. VideoDrew. New releases. Secret Service agent Mike Bannon is framed for an attempted attack on the president in what 2019 film?
Oh, and she came so close. She was thinking of the wrong movie. She said Olympus Has Fallen.
It was Angel
Has Fallen.
Yeah.
She said the first one in the series, and this one was the most recent one.
I didn't realize that they were
They're in the same trilogy, I believe. It's a trilogy of movies.
Yeah, that's hard. So she missed it. Stays with Drew. VideoDrew for her 5-point. Right? Yeah. Stays with VideoDrew for her 5-pointer. Tarantino. In which film will you find a character planning a trip to Madrid at the end of the film? Got it.
No, she missed it, right?
Missed it? Yeah, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Because it would not have just ended there if she got it. So
yeah, no,
she must have missed it, and I wrote got it again.
No, because Mark only had to answer, one question in this?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, this wasn't a TKO. Why didn't Mark have to... I don't know what happened, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what I was doing or what was happening with me that day. But I don't think she got it. She missed it
because she commented in the post-match that it was the one Tarantino movie that she hasn't seen. So
she missed it. She did not got it. Don't listen to me. 11-12 in favor of Mark Yodi Riley by the end of this one, taking home a couple points for the Finstock Exchange.
Yeah, and it's an ugly win.
Yeah.
But it's a win. And I remember him saying in our team chat, like, I mean, I had to scrap for this one, and I was disappointed in my play, but I got the win. I'm like, hey, man, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
You still get the
winning
W.
Is winning. What movie?
Winning is winning?
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning.
Is it a sports movie?
You could classify it as a sports movie.
Does somebody play a sport in it?
It's a... Yeah, you can say it. I mean, it's... No, it's not a sports movie. It involves a sport.
Mighty Ducks.
No.
Give me a hint. Man.
It's Fast and Furious. Dude, I almost had you.
Which one?
The first one.
Like, I've seen that.
You haven't seen the first?
I've seen Tokyo Drift, and I don't even remember that other than it was in Japan. It's the only thing I remember about it. They were in Japan, drifted cars, went fast. Probably did a bunch of dumb stuff, too. Probably defied gravity in their cars,
I enjoyed Tokyo Drift. People crap on that movie all the time. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I mean, I'm sure it was fun, but I'm just thinking of the most recent, whatever the most recent Fast and Furious film was.
That was
and the trailer for it.
Oh yeah, the was it Hobbs and Shaw?
What?
Yeah, that's a Fast and Furious movie.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. The two villains, The Rock and
Hobbs and Shaw.
See, you do this all the time. You make me second guess myself. I'm like,
hold on. I thought Hobbs and Shaw was like a comedy.
No.
All right, hold on, everybody.
See,
we got to do this.
This is gonna be one of those. You did this to me in the other episode where I was like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm right here," and then you made me second guess. I'm like, "No, I'm wrong."
Really?
And then I ended up being right.
Hold on, I think you're right. Wait a minute.
I'm going to like dance if I'm.
No, you're right.
Boom. See, I told you.
What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of
I thought Hobbs and Shaw was like a comedy, like zany cop duo.
I think you're thinking of
like
I think you're thinking of Turner and Hooch.
I don't know about that, but I'm thinking of something else. But yeah,
it's the one with The Rock and Jason Statham.
I knew The Rock was involved, but I thought that was a different movie.
No, it's the movie in the Fast and Furious.
What am I thinking of? It was somebody and somebody, and it was like a buddy cop movie. And they're like, "Wow, the most unlikely of cops that you would see."
The other guys.
Oh, I don't know.
With
is that what I'm thinking of?
With Wahlberg and Farrell. Is that what it is?
I don't know. Whatever I'm thinking of, I thought it was a somebody and somebody type title.
Starsky and Hutch?
No.
I'm trying to think of all the buddy cop movies that are comedies in my head.
I could also be making it up. I don't know. If we're being honest, I don't know. I'm floored that this is called Hobbs and Shaw.
It's Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and the Furious. The full title has Fast and Furious.
Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And this is the one where they like...
I'm Black Superman with Idris Elba. You don't remember that in the trailer? No,
I remember something from the trailer where they're like shooting a car across a cliff.
Oh, and they
like shoot a grappling hook.
Oh no, that's the one before this one.
Oh,
I think that's what we were thinking. It's Fast 7 or Fast 8.
Well,
there's so many in the franchise right now.
Ridiculous.
it got that ridiculous after, what was it, 5? I think that's where it shifted. And it just went to that realm of like, hey, they're superheroes now.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Hobbs and Shaw's the last, unless I'm thinking of them out of order.
No, I'm just shocked that Hobbs and Shaw isn't a buddy cop comedy. That's what I'm upset about.
I think it is kind of like a buddy cop film, but in the Fast and Furious. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Wow. Don't listen to me. Where were we going with that?
I don't know.
We were talking about how I had only seen... Oh, because you had quoted something. Oh, if you win, it's a win.
Yeah. So it was an only win. Oh, wow. Sorry, people. So back to the match.
I'm sorry for that.
So so Riley,
Hobbs and Shaw.
Riley, we say this is a football term. So Riley escapes with this win. Mm-hmm. He should have. And this is no slight on Videodrew. Videodrew has actually improved over her last matches.
Definitely. And
she did make a comment to where. She's like, she was talking about like, well, people always talk about Videodrew about her character and how much they love her character, and they never talk about her trivia knowledge.
It's true.
And she is a little bit of hot and cold here and there, but she performs.
She has noticeably, significantly improved from when she first came on the scene. Mm-hmm. I think in gameplay and character work. Yeah,
and there's a very rare occasion where she does break character in her post match. She started talking in. Stopped talking in the third person and started talking in the first person. She's saying I and this, and that was when she got real. And she was talking about all that, but then she slipped back into her character. And I mean, and she's another one of those where it's like when she first debuted, I was like, what is this chick doing? I'm not sure I'm a fan of this.
I was not feeling it, but now I'm like,
and I think she did a lot of what my gripes were. She stuck to that. Videodrew says, and it just got a little old.
I was
really
not
quick,
a fan of that at first,
but she toned it down.
Yeah,
she found the sweet spot, like all rookies do when they go hard the first time, and they like, all right, let me reel the character back and just find that center,
my sweet spot,
that sweet spot where the character works, and this character absolutely works.
Oh yeah,
so.
She settled in real good.
So she's part of the dungeon, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So who's the dungeon's team? Like their number one team is Zipper, somebody else. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
No, I don't know who the dungeon has going in now.
To the teams tournament?
For the teams tournament.
I don't know.
We'll see when we get there. But
I did very much enjoy the banter between Kaiser and Videodrew.
Oh yeah,
they were not talking about anything match related, and it was everything.
There are some manager like pairings with competitors that like they work sort of. They work competitive wise. They work character wise. This dynamic that Kaiser and VideoDrew have is fantastic.
They were just going off on tangents, and I feel like his like 60-second talk before round 3, they were talking about something. I don't know what it was. Not match related at all. And I feel like in the middle of it, Kaiser was like, "How much time do we have left? I want to make sure I'm not wasting my time." Oh man, Kaiser is a gem.
Yeah, he's good, and he works really well with VideoDrew.
And VideoDrew is a gem, and I couldn't get enough of their banter. I wish they would have had more time.
Yeah, but I want to see more VideoDrew because she's improved over the last matches, and she's put in the work to improve. So maybe the next time we see her next season, whoever she ends up on, she comes and performs even better. So because there's some competitors where you look at their difference between their first and their third match, and there's no change. It's like they clearly didn't learn the lesson from the first and their second match, and they just either don't have the time to commit to it, or they just don't care.
Yeah,
VideoDrew looks like she cares, and she's obviously putting in the work. So I'm excited to see what the future holds for her, and the next singles or teams match that we see her in.
Yeah,
I would like to see the improvement there, because you look at her in her debut match and to where she is now, there's improvement there.
I'm just trying to think of who else is on the dungeon. Who they would put in the teams tournament. I feel like there's like an answer that we're just not we're blanking on. I feel like it would probably involve Zipper, maybe Zipper Mancuso.
Yeah, maybe, because I think they're in a position to where they can fabricate a team and
Zipper
put them in.
Zipper Mancuso, Zipper VideoDrew.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a team that I'm just forgetting,
but
I don't know.
Sure too. It's hard to keep track of rosters. But as far as Reilly goes, he's just disappointed in this win. It's like, yeah, it's a win, but it feels like a loss.
Yeah, and
because
he and Dagnino said as much. Like he's definitely gonna tighten this up.
Oh yeah, and he has to go up against Perry now.
Perry Nemiroff,
who is like upset of the year as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
Even though there are a couple other upsets but this upset
this was shocking.
That was a shocking. You took a heavy hitter out of the first round.
Yeah.
And now you go up against another legend of the game.
Yeah.
So can she do it twice in a row? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, so before we get into this week's matches, let's go ahead and go into our Patreon questions.
Yes.
We have a topic or a question from squad captain
Josh
Estes. So yeah, like I said, squad officers and captains now, because we've bumped it down. So officers and captains get to dictate the conversation on our weekly shows.
Yeah.
And we have one from a captain.
So Josh, he said, yes, great weekly exchange.
Yes, wins.
Looking forward to the team's tournament. Do you think it will be Founding Fathers or a new team formation?
Ooh, yeah, because for those who are out of the loop, since Founding Fathers lost the team titles, now Dagnino has this huge decision. Do I put Who's the Boss in, or do I put Founding Fathers in?
Or apparently, do I get to put together another team? Apparently, I didn't realize you could do that.
I didn't realize that. He said that Who's the Boss isn't going in, but he wouldn't say who is going in.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, Who's the Boss is out, then it's obviously Founding Fathers. But apparently he can fabricate a new team now.
I didn't realize.
I could, correct me if I'm wrong. Early on in the season, before COVID ever hit, before the season ever kicked off, Harloff said, in order for you to break a team up, they have to win 2 consecutive.
Lose.
Yeah, sorry. They have to lose 2 consecutive, not 2 wins total for the season. 2 consecutive losses. Why am I doing that?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, people. Wow. So so they have to lose twice in a row.
Yeah.
For
2 consecutive losses.
2 consecutive losses to break a team up. Who's the Boss has only lost 1, and Founding Fathers have only lost 1 this season. Both of them. So people are like, oh, he's gonna put Dan with the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Or he's gonna
Ben with the Barbarian.
Ben with the Barbarian, or Ben and Dan. It's like,
or Sabrina and Craig.
Yeah. And it's like, what? Like,
I didn't realize. Yeah, I thought that there was like a whole thing that you have to lose twice in a row.
If it's Sabrina and Barbarian, that makes sense because it's a brand new team they're fabricating.
Yeah.
But my concern is, and I said it, we said it after we covered the throwdown with Corruption Founding Fathers match. Dan is hungry for that title again.
Oh yeah.
He's fired up. He inspired me to hit my notes hard again. So I'm back in study mode. And it's like, why are you gonna deny Dan that? Put him in the tournament. It's the obvious answer now.
Unless you intend to break up the founding fathers.
And why would you do that?
And why would you do that?
And why would you gamble on forming a new team that you have no idea what their chemistry is like?
Mm-hmm.
Because now this tournament means a lot to the faction. This means so much to the faction, not only points wise, but to get that title back into the faction.
Yeah.
So my obvious answer is founding fathers all the way.
Same.
Put them in the tournament. You know they're on. They found their rhythm. We know where they have to improve, and it's the speed round. Because every other round they're fine. It's the speed round that's like holding them up.
Yeah.
So polish that up. Put them in the tournament, and by the time you get to the finals of the tournament, you would have polished all that up. So my answer to Josh is founding fathers.
Same.
There's no question. It's like the second I read that, it's like, why is this even a question?
Yeah.
Why are we even asking this? Why are we even musing the idea of a brand new team? It's so risky. It's so risky.
And founding fathers just lost the title. Oh, what are they just going to be like? Well, next time I guess.
There's always next year. It's
no, they're going to want it
now.
back.
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear that speech from Dan Murrell at the end? And John Roca, he's a very competitive person. He wants those belts back. He likes when they're with him, of course.
Oh, of course.
And like you said, they have fantastic chemistry. They make each other better players. I think they've said as much.
Yeah.
That they push each other. I don't see, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I'm hoping that Tom is just building up the
suspense and drama for the storyline. So that's
because everybody is talking about, will founding fathers even be together? Will they even be on the exchange next year? Roca definitely won't be on the exchange, you know? So I just feel like I feel like it's a storyline builder. I don't know. But I just feel like the very obvious answer is the founding fathers.
And if it is if this is the last season the founding fathers are a team, the last time we saw them was a loss to corruption.
I just don't see it.
No. You have this amazing team. Put them back in.
Championship team.
Get us the points. Get us the titles back. Because they'll run through that tournament.
And also, imagine how amazing it would be if you put founding fathers in the tournament. They end up winning the tournament, and then you get to see founding fathers corruption. Again. Five. Can you imagine?
And I've said I want to see this rivalry continue. So, and I want to get that speech that Dan did and put it and type it out and get a transcript of it and
put it above the door, slap it every time you walk in.
It's like it's like inspiration. It's like this ends it spectacular.
Yeah, I want to put this ends it spectacular above the door and be like, bam! Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
I'm gonna do that. You watch. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna post it on Instagram. You're like, hey, boom. This end is spectacular.
And I wouldn't put it past you.
It's gonna happen. Or if you put it on the door for digital match, it's like, this is spectacular. Some
excerpt from Dan's impassioned speech.
Yeah. Put his face on it. I'm like, like a shrine. I went a little too far.
That was weird.
Sorry.
Start wearing plaid shirts and FFG shirts.
Well, I can just wear the UCF shirt and just UCFify his thing. Maybe we'll go be Dan Murrell for Halloween.
But from UCF.
The UCF Dan Murrell.
That'd be funny.
I think I'm gonna do that.
That'd be kind of funny.
We're the only ones that would get it.
Oh well.
Oops. I mean, even Halloween's a thing this year.
I could be John.
No.
We could be the founding fathers.
We could.
For Halloween.
We'll do that.
You be UCF Dan Murrell, and I'll get a cowboy hat.
Going off on a tangent, but yes, thank you to Josh Estes for that awesome question. If you want to submit your questions, you can become a member of the Patreon at the $5 or $10 tier to dictate with the conversations on this show and on Going Rogue.
Let's look at what's going on this week.
Matches.
We got a big week. We got a big week.
And as far as you're listening to this one, matches already aired.
Yes.
To you guys. At least for patrons, I believe.
So
or for the public.
Here we go. Monday, September 7th. Already has aired. William Bibiani versus James White. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. We won't tell you. We watched it tonight.
It's a good match.
It was a great match. Tuesday, September 8th.
Today.
Oh yeah, you gotta talk as if it's today. Paulo Yama of Swag versus Marisol McKee of Corruption. So really that's gonna be good.
Really looking forward to this because
lots of eyes on Marisol. With she definitely performed strongly.
Had a strong performance.
Had a strong performance.
I saved it.
Against I don't know. Against Bonnie Somerville. So she's coming off of a big win.
Big win, and this is her first. I didn't no shade on Bonnie, but this is Marisol's first real test.
I mean, I feel
champion.
like it's safe to say that because he's a former champion.
He's a former champion, and Paul is he's hitting his stride. He's on his A game right now. So.
And then Wednesday, September 9th, you got Ethan Irwin of the Usual Suspects versus Vinny Mancuso of the Dungeon. So that's gonna be
Irwin on a path to try to get his title.
Big match for Vinny, I think there. And then Thursday, September 10th, you got John Roca of the Finstock Exchange versus Adam Collins of Corruption. Big match for Adam Collins there. So then,
big old day on Friday.
On Friday, September 11th, we gonna get a throwdown, and it's gonna be the undercard is Janine the Machine of the Usual Suspects versus Warfather.
This is a weird
of the
one.
Droops.
Yeah, it's like it's like when this came up on, it's like, well, we're still having singles matches outside of the tournament.
Yeah,
it's kind of strange,
kind of random.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's two factions that really need the points.
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like, how did you come up with those two factions?
Well, yeah, well, their records are.
Are they the two in last?
They're yeah, the Droogs are.
I know the Suspects are in last.
Suspects in last. Droogs are right above them, I believe. I actually, well, here we go. I have the standings in my pictures. Hold on. So, but yeah, these are two factions that actually need the points.
Updated standings?
Yeah, updated standings as of
today.
As of not today,
slash yesterday, because you're listening to this on Tuesday.
Yeah, here it is. So, yeah, these are two factions that are the very. So, Suspects in last. Burning Droogs are right above them with 12. Suspects had 9. So, and these are two competitors that have similar records. And this is again, I hate using this as a gimme match for both of these players, because especially for Janine.
How can you have a gimme match for both competitors?
Well, because of their records, and I don't know. Don't listen to me. But especially for Janine, because I'm a Janine fan. I want to see Janine perform, and she just has had not great performances because of luck or whatever and whatever. But yeah, this is getting Janine back on that train of get that win.
Yeah.
Get her rolling. Get her over that hump.
Yeah.
And just get her off this losing streak, because she tried to swing it in IG, just couldn't swing it in the IG. Had a tough loss to who was it?
Mark.
To Mark. Had a lot. The last one before that was Ellison, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember, but she's just been on this losing streak. It's like, God, just get that next win.
Yeah.
Just get it there. So, yeah, so that's the total reason why these. I was like, wow, that's weird. But the more I look at the standings and the record, is like,
more makes sense.
Makes sense. So just give the two bottom standings teams a chance to get some points.
Yeah.
Make it competitive.
So that's the undercard, and then the main event. It's like the top card.
The top card.
The main event.
Top deck
is Dan Merle of the Finstock Exchange versus Ben Bateman of the Finstock Exchange.
Exchange. It's the exchange hour, ladies and gentlemen.
A little bit. So, and that is for the singles title.
Merle Bateman 2.
Dose.
2. And if it's anything like the Atlanta match,
it's going to be a nail biter.
It's going to be a good one. And Dan, and like I said, Dan has to brush up on the speed round. He said it himself that the speed round is a little finicky for him. But I'm excited to see Bateman in this new format.
Yeah, because Bateman usually crushes it in the traditional speed round with the buzzers. Yeah. So it's gonna be real cool to see him, because we haven't seen Bateman do the speed round yet.
I haven't seen
the new one. So
the lightning round.
I'm very interested to see.
I'm very interested to see that.
How he does.
And it's just this one. I mean, yeah, like I'm not gonna pick anybody, but I know who I want to see win, and I have both of them. I want to see win, obviously.
Yeah.
Both nights, but it's one of these where, like, because the past couple title matches has been like, oh my god, I just want to see, because like we had skin in those, and the person that we're going up against, it wasn't on the faction. Now it's like we get to sit back a little bit, relax.
Yeah, I feel bad for the two of them, because it's not relaxing at all for them. But for people that are fans of the Exchange, it's kind of like, oh, cool. Well, at least it stays in the faction.
For the other members of the Exchange, for us, it's like, oh, we don't have to worry about it, because we're gonna get the points either way. We're gonna have the title either way.
I'm still gonna be.
Oh yeah, I'm
freaking out while I'm watching it.
Because you said Ben's your favorite competitor, so
yeah, absolutely.
And Dan is Dan. I mean,
Dan is just Dan Merle.
Dan
Merle. How could you not be excited to watch him play.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a nail biter.
Can't wait for that one. But yeah, so if you haven't signed up for the Patreon for the Schmoedown, Schmoedown.com or Schmoedown.com, Patreon.com/Schmoedown. There's no the, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so you get that, or you can go to Schmoedownlive.com to get your tickets for that. That you're gonna want to see these last.
Oh yeah,
like we always say, like, oh, this is the throwdown to watch. This is the throwdown to watch.
I feel like they all are.
They all are.
They're all so good.
If you didn't sign up for the Patreon, but when all these were announced, like, what are you doing? It's like,
if you're a Schmoedown fan, it has been so worth it this year.
So
far.
Worth it. It's like you're saving money by signing up for the Patreon, other than just buying the pay-per-views as they come out, or being spoiled when they come out to the public. So you're gonna want to watch this.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sign up for the Patreon and buy your tickets now.
Yes.
Anything else we have to talk about? I don't think that's it. I think that's all we got. We got the patrons. We got scheduled out.
Yeah.
But
I think that was everything.
We went the entire podcast without saying back on top, baby. Look at that. Exchange 41 points.
I'm not trying to gloat because I know it's not going to last long because it's just been, bebopping all around the place with this lead here. So I'm not one to be, victory dancing anytime soon.
Yeah, because Swag is right behind us with 39. Corruption is right behind them with 38. So it's a tight race at the top, but it just feels good to be at the top right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It feels good, but we know
it's going to ping pong.
It's going to ping pong because the standings is so close at the top three. It's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I think we'll go ahead and this episode up. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
Twitter at Dimmy. DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you're listening to this on audio, head over to the Beyond Schmoedown podcast feed on the Beyond Schmoedown podcast feed. Please rate us. And if you're watching us on YouTube,
like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon over there in the corner to get notified when we do stuff on YouTube.
If you want to support the channel and the show, other than liking, commenting, and subscribing, head on over to patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki. Become a member of the squadron. Speaking of the squadron, let's wanted to quickly thank our squadron captains, Ferris Mathana, Josh Estes, and B. Door. Thank you again so much for your continued support. And with that, I think we'll end this episode up. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We'll see you next time.